Hello and welcome to tonight's Get in Tune. I am Michael Gracia and have a very fun show planned for tonight. First off, I just want to make a couple of announcements. Right now, I apologize for my lighting, but my other light broke and I don't want the overhead light on right now. So that is the reason my room is a little kind of off in color and stuff. Number two, speaking of the room, I don't know if you noticed, but I started finally changing up the background. I am putting up artwork of indie artist friends of mine. Since the show is really about promoting indie artists, I am I have started to put up stuff. I don't know if you could tell, but I kept up the Beetle Bailey and the Simpsons, but underneath the Beetle Bailey is Jay Piscopo's piece. The was it the Lost or the Last? I can't remember. The Last Dominion. Next to him is Mike Belcher's The Man in the Mask poster. Um, and then I got a character from a video game which I'm blanking on in the corner that J.M. DeSantis did, and Enoch, who goes by Enoch's Easel, over there, did a Captain Harlock, and if I move up the camera a little bit, Rob Knurl's pieces up there. So yes, I am starting to bringing everything that I said I'll be doing for a while. Also, I apologize for not having a show last week. Been very busy and just couldn't do it. But I have a great one tonight. And last two things. One, don't forget, where is it? Today is Wiz Wednesday at the Wiz Comic. Came out today. And the other thing I just blanked on, I'll remember at some point. I am sorry. So let's bring on our guest. Guest is not just a friend of mine, but he's a very talented artist. He is one of the contributing artists to the new Zorro book, Swordplay and Romance, on by Bold Venture Press. I was lucky enough to be able to contribute to it as well, but we're not here to talk about my stuff. We're going to be focusing on his. So let's bring on Anibal Arroyo. Hey.
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
Sometimes
Yeah,
I screw up names. So
yeah, you
sorry.
got it. Yeah, you
Well,
got
I
it.
know your first name, last name. I always
Yeah, you got it.
I don't say it. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Yourself?
I can't complain. Just
All
like I
right.
said, always said, busy, crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna fix the camera so you can see better here. But yeah, thanks for coming on. I'm really excited
All right.
to chat.
Yes.
Really excited to talk Zorro. He is my favorite fictional character. I've been lucky enough to contribute to two books for Bold Venture Press now of Zorro. Three if you count their Pulp Adventure book. Um,
I know that. Wow.
but yeah, I don't know if I ever showed that. I got that here. Um, so this is the pulp. This
Oh,
comes out, I believe, four times a year,
wow.
and they're pulps, short pulp stories,
Man,
that
okay.
are written. And a good friend of mine, Don Smith, sometimes goes by Don Everett Smith.
Huh?
Actually goes by Don Everett Smith Jr. in this book. Wrote a story about the American Crusaders, a public domain hero, and that's some of my artwork
Oh, okay.
with it.
How far back is that? Like,
This one goes back winter spring 2023.
okay, not too far.
So it's a really fun book, especially if you like pulp stuff. I'm a big fan of the pulp
Yeah,
comics,
yeah, me too.
and stories in general. Actually, today I read about not today. Well, didn't read. Watched a YouTube video on the 12 important characters from um, Robert E. Howard, who created Conan. So it
Conan.
talked about all the characters that were like important that he created in the short span that he really wrote, because he did, as they say, can't use certain words on YouTube, but unalived himself at a certain point in his life. He was young, in his early 30s or 30 or something. And he
Hmm.
wrote about for 7-8 years, I believe, before that
Before
happened.
that happened.
But yeah, no, and I watched that. I want to draw him. He created Solomon Kane, Call the Conqueror,
Okay.
Red Sonja,
It's Sonya.
um, which I actually learned was, and this is pretty interesting. I don't know how much of a Conan fan you are, a Red Sonja fan, but when he created Red Sonja, it wasn't in the time period of Conan. So to create another Red Sonja to fit in the Conan, he changed the spelling of the name, so it's supposed to be like an ancestor.
Wow.
So I didn't know that.
Yeah, no,
I thought that was really cool that I learned.
wow.
Yeah. I'm doing a lot of talking already. So anyway, for those who are unfamiliar with you, let's tell the audience about you. Say hi to Dylan and the audience is watching, but tell the audience about you, who you are, what you do.
Well, as Mike already stated, I am an illustrator. My name is Anibal Arroyo for anybody out there watching, all two of you who don't know me. Yeah, and I concentrate on comics. I do a little bit of, I can say a little bit of everything. I've done a little bit of everything: children's books, graphic novels. But my main focus is, comic books, as I stated. And I've been self-publishing now for about, oh man, I guess about 20 years, give or take, maybe a little more. Yeah, I basically work for myself at this point, and I'm concentrating on my own projects. I also freelance if the right, job comes along for the
Yeah,
right
yeah.
price. I'm willing to always, get
Which
into
we've
it.
had you on here about one of your freelance
Yeah,
projects.
actually, and
Dark form.
I definitely want to plug those guys because now that it came up, I've been working on trying to set up a book signing for them as
Hmm.
part of like showcasing the project we did, which happens to be right here next to me. This
Which was a great book.
Yeah, awesome. I had a good time with these guys. They're awesome, um, and it's kind of been, I don't want to say on hold.
Hmm.
Basically, the store is kind of delaying. They, long story short, they have little faith in the indies. And it's funny because originally they had agreed to doing it, and then they kind of backed out of it. And I haven't had much time to go there in person and kind of,
Yeah.
plead my case lately. So once that happens, if they don't want to do it, or if it doesn't happen, I'll just move on to another store. But it's pending. It's coming. There
Yeah.
will be a book signing. There definitely will be a
No,
book signing.
I hope so. I gotta say, I don't like when stores act that way.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't want to bash them because they're
no,
good
listen, I'm
guys.
not bashing a store in
Yeah,
general. I'm just
yeah, I'm
saying,
just saying, yeah.
the
You can bash them. You don't know them.
oh, I hope I don't. But no,
You
but
don't
the
know.
the indies are becoming big again. You know what I mean? Like, if I mean some of them aren't in diamond, some
Right.
of them aren't getting shelf
Yeah,
life,
yeah,
but indies, a lot of stores I go into, very few are just full mainstream,
yeah. Oh,
books now. It's
yeah,
a lot of indie books. So to
yeah.
turn away indie,
Yeah.
artists
Their
and
their their indie
creators.
section has been over the years. It's been shrinking to the point where I don't even know if it's actually on the shelves anymore. It might be like a little box somewhere. If you
Yeah,
want indie books, I always ask for locals.
yeah,
Where's the stuff with the locals? Who do you have here that's from town or from the state or
yeah,
whatever. Anytime I go into a store, and it's definitely shrunk. And then the taker is they will you know, they'll let you do it, or they'll be more agreeable to doing it if it's been on Kickstarter, or if it's going to be a
yeah,
Kickstarter, something like that. So it has done a Kickstarter. Obviously, it was a successful Kickstarter. So once I get in there and get to talk to them a little bit, I'm obviously gonna bring some of those points up. So, and again, if not there, somewhere else, it's definitely coming.
yeah. No, that's good. I'm happy to see that happening because I did enjoy the book. I thought it was a great. I mean, I did a drawing of it. I don't know if it was in the book, but it was
Yeah,
a.
it's in the book. Yeah,
Oh, it's in the book. Okay, yeah, I don't
we did it.
remember, but
We also did a director's cut, which
okay,
included your drawing,
okay, yeah.
fan art, which is right there.
Thank you. Yes, I appreciate that. I like that. I still like the piece. I was just cleaning up my computer, and
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, I should make a print of that for
yeah,
myself.
it's really good piece.
And
Shout out to
yeah,
those guys, by the way, Mark Saporito and Danny and Junior and yeah, the whole team, George, who did the lettering. Yeah, shout out to those guys. It was a blast working with you, and hopefully we can recapture that at some point.
yeah. So, um, let's jump right into Zorro.
Zorro.
Um, and let's say hi to I can't even read that far away. Who is that? Oh, hi, you're stupid. Hey, man, how you doing? This right here has been a guest a couple of times on the show. He's the creator of the Sillyville comic, which is a great book. I read the first one. I don't know if the second one's out yet, but I want a copy of that when that comes out. Um, so yeah, let's talk Zorro. So
Zorro.
I know for me, Zorro is my all-time favorite fictional character. I mean, when I don't talk superheroes, superheroes I love like Superman, Doctor Fate, Nightwing, Green Lantern. I have my favorites, but of all the characters that I love to draw, that I love to watch, that I love to read, it's Zorro.
Okay.
All right. Before you got this gig, what was your relationship with Zorro?
I definitely knew about him.
Mhm.
I remember, I think it was the cartoons. Like, I don't remember what channel, what station. I vaguely remember cartoons, and then I remember seeing like bits and pieces of movies over the years. And I definitely remember one Halloween I dressed up as Zorro,
Mhm.
um, and then I used the cape again next year to dress up as Dracula. Little fun fact, yeah. And that was like seventh grade. And then other than that, I wasn't too familiar with his legacy or his history, which is very, very like rich. He's got such an
Yeah.
interesting history, man. I like when I got the gig, I definitely I delved in and I learned as much about him as I could. And it's very interesting, man. And other than that, I came out being a bigger fan than I was going in. I was a
Mhm.
casual fan. I'm looking forward to trying to do a Zorro piece of my own, maybe like a nice portrait, something. I want to dedicate some time to doing that because I feel like the need to do it. I have like a
Yeah.
little inspiration to do it. At some point in time, I might just pop it up on the internet or whatever whenever it gets done. But yeah, it definitely came out for the better regarding my love of the character.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm paying attention, but something keeps going off over here.
Oh no,
Oh my god! Oh, you know what it is? I
no.
bought this years ago in Disney World. The
Uh
battery is dying,
oh.
but it's a. I don't know if you can see it. It's Scar,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
when you
Lion King. Yeah,
I don't know if you can
I see it.
see.
Yep.
No, but it's not
What do we
changing
see?
on the screen.
No.
So it
Oh, it
says.
did something
I'm
there.
surrounded by idiots.
So it's a
Oh,
line. It says, "I'm surrounded by idiots," and it something I guess was on top of it. Kept
it
pressing.
kept saying that just now.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, "What is that? Where is it coming?"
Oh, I
But
didn't
it's
hear it. That's
yeah,
funny.
okay. No, no, it's just low, and it was just in my ear here.
Man.
So yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah.
you became a bigger fan of Zorro. Was it through reading, watching stuff? What?
Oh yeah, and we talked about this. I had such a good time watching some of those like old movies, man. And
Yeah.
I have to say, I did see a few variations of actors playing them. I
Mhm.
gravitated towards the first one I saw, which was the Guy Williams version. I just
Yeah.
thought he brought such a like likability and playfulness to the character that you couldn't deny, enjoying his movements, everything he did. I do have to say though, the Tyrone, what's his last name?
Tyrone Power.
That was an awesome sword fight in that movie, man.
Oh
I
my
looked
god.
I looked up on YouTube it's probably like among the best in like in film. If anybody hasn't seen it, just watch that one sword fight. It's so badass, man.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
was a really good Zorro too. I thought, he played the role really, really good. I liked his personality as well. But my guy, I gotta go with the Guy Williams. I wish he had made more. I mean, I only saw it seemed like what they did. I went looking for the series, and it seemed like what they did with the series is broke the film down into chapters for the series. That's all I found on was it Disney? I couldn't find
Yeah,
an
on
actual.
Disney Plus. I
Is
got to
that
be
the way?
honest. I don't know if the film
Because it was
came
the exact
first.
same thing, dude. I
Yeah.
watched the episodes, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's in the movie. What they did was they cut it off in chapters and broke it up like maybe like
Yeah.
half an hour, and they turned like a 2 hour movie into like a mini series, like a
Yeah.
season, or whatever. And I
Yeah.
was expecting something else, because I had already seen it.
Yeah.
If there's nothing else on him with it, that's too bad. I wish he would have kept doing it.
Well, he did two full seasons. And in the season,
So there must have been a second movie then, because right?
no, no, listen, what you, if I
That
last I looked on Disney Plus, the series was up there. Um, yeah, you take a look. Maybe they took it down, but I watched it. Otherwise,
If
I got the
the
DVDs in my
season I
closet.
watched was literally the movie cut up into episodes of
No,
the
well, that was
series.
only part of it. That was like the beginning, or not really the beginning. It was yeah throughout the sea. Like the movie's 2 hours long, but there's something like I think
It might be
what
less than that.
was it 11? I'll have to look it up.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. That's
but there was a bunch of episodes in there, and it was great. And
I'd love to see some of
and
that stuff.
then in season two, season 2 does not take place in Los Angeles. He travels.
Okay.
So him and Bernardo are traveling
Okay.
to different places, and you know he has to fight.
I'd forgotten from the script that Bernardo was a mute.
Yeah,
In the film, you know, and it still works. You know, he still is able to
Yeah.
communicate, and he's still comical and all of that. I just forgot. I should, you know, from the scripts from the stories we worked on, I should have put
yeah,
two and two together there. But yeah, it still worked.
yeah. It's great. I mean, listen, I can talk about almost any interpretation of it. Let me just go to the comments right there. He goes, "I've been called the gay blade more
Who was that?
more than I care to mention." That was from Hi, You're Stupid. Well, I don't know how much you know there about some of the Zorro movies, but there was a movie called Zorro the Gay Blade.
I'm trying to remember that.
George, whatever. What's his last name? Why do I look so blurry? Give me 1 second.
Yeah, you do look blurry.
I'm gonna. Nope, didn't work. Oh well. I think I may have to switch the cameras. But Zorro the Gay Blade.
It's not a Mel Brooks movie, like one of those comedies.
It was a comedy, but it wasn't a Mel Brooks
Mel Brooks
movie. Let me see if I can.
I'm thinking Robin Hood.
The camera. Let's go to my FaceTime camera for a second, and now let's go back.
Yeah, you look better. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, the other room was wider. Okay, so yeah, no, I mean that. Listen, that was a great film. It's a good when you want a good Zorro comedy, but it's not my go-to Zorro movie. I you know what? And I never say his name right, but the on this Zorro book that I worked on before, Zorro's Exploits. This is is it Duncan Regehr? I never say his last name properly, but he was. If you remember the movie The Monster Squad, he was Dracula in The Monster Squad.
Oh,
And he's done a bunch of stuff.
oh, okay.
This was the '90s Zorro from the New World series, and loved this one. And it was very much kind of a much kid friendly. It was like an Adam West Batman version, where actually Adam West did guest star in one of the episodes. But yeah, and the girl who was on the cover with her, she's Patrice Martinez. She had another name too before she was married or after. I don't remember which was her maiden name, but you would know her. She was in the Three Amigos, and she was in Beetlejuice. She was the secretary in the ghost world who sliced her.
Yeah. Wow.
Those are other things. But yeah, no, great
so
Zorro.
yeah.
But really, really great Zorro stuff that came out of that. And in the final season, some of the final episode, he met the Three Musketeers, and I think that's one of my favorite.
I started watching that. That was interesting. Yeah. That wasn't that same actor though, right?
No. That was an older movie you were watching.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
This was a 2-part series episode from there. One day you'll have to come by. I have it all on DVD.
Yeah.
I mean, legitimately everything.
I'll bring the pop
there. And but yeah, it's a really great. He's got, like you said, great history.
Great history.
Started with The Curse of Capistrano, from Johnston McCulley's short stories or pulp stories that were collected. And I believe, I don't know if it was in this book. I know in the book I worked on, one of the writers I worked with built off The Curse of Capistrano as the story. In the one I actually worked on now, my writer, and I'm sorry I'm blanking on her name, I'll find it soon. Hers was loosely based off a 3-part episode of the Guy Williams Zorro. So I actually had really cool reference. I just had to go back and watch these episodes a couple of times to know what the characters looked like, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, his history is so good, man. Like I had no idea it was like based on a real guy. I forget the guy's name, Joaquin something.
Well, the one from the Antonio Banderas movie, Joaquin, whatever his character's name. They used that character as his Zorro before he put the name Diego.
So they took the historical figure and put it into the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, now I gotta see it.
Yeah.
Like, I really haven't paid attention. I saw it many, many years ago. I got to go back and watch that.
Oh, I love that movie too. You want to talk about great sword
The
fights? That
character played by Anthony Hopkins, is he supposed
Anthony Hopkins
he's supposed to be the
was.
Joaquin character?
He's not the Joaquin.
No? Oh, but he's in
And
the movie.
Antonio Banderas.
Oh.
His name is whatever Joaquin, whatever. I'm blanking on the name right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I don't know the exact name, but his first name was Joaquin. The
Yeah,
historical figure that Zorro is actually based on. Yeah.
yeah. So and then he takes the identity of Alejandro later, who was Zorro's father.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, no, great stuff.
Great
I mean,
history,
and you know, just getting back to the Guy Williams stuff. What I really loved about that series was the wit. It was a very well written show, very witty in the humor,
right.
in the dialogue.
Yeah.
You could miss stuff so quick if you're not really paying attention.
Check it out. His delivery was so clever. Like
Yeah.
it is like, you know, Zorro, the Spanish word for fox. You know, that's called the fox. He had that kind of like cleverness where like it looked like he was in on something that nobody else was. Every time he said a line, you could almost want him to like break the fourth wall and look into the camera and wink.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like it was that type of thing, which I enjoy watching. You know.
And I don't know if you knew this, but Guy Williams retired and ended and he died in Argentina, where I think it was Argentina, where he was so beloved because that Zorro show was so beloved. He went and that's where he spent the rest of his life. And guys, anybody watching, if I got that wrong, I believe it's Argentina. I'd have to really look it up to be sure.
Google later.
But yeah, let me know if, in the comments if I got that wrong. But I think that's where it was. But yeah, it just.
Let me ask you, Mike. How do you feel? Because I came away like, you know, when I learned about the character and everything, I came away with like information that seems obvious, but like nobody ever really acknowledges it or talks about it. Okay, how do you feel about the relation between Zorro as the superhero with the alter ego and the superhero we know today? You know, for example, like Batman, Bruce Wayne, Superman, Clark Kent. Do you see like there's an obvious influence? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Nobody talks about that.
I mean,
right?
Yes and no. I mean, Bob Kane says he's based on Zorro. The idea is the movie that they came out of, that was a Zorro movie. Where
I've heard the Batman was influenced by Zorro. I've read that something, but it's like such a they kind of slip it in there, like where it's not, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of people probably don't know it, but it's an obvious connection. Like if you look at it, it's obvious. It's so obvious.
But even before Zorro, there was a Scarlet Pimpernel.
Which I don't know too much about.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's another kind of rich person who dresses up.
How much before Zorro is that? Is it like?
I don't remember when the Scarlet Pimpernel was written, but it was literature.
Okay. Was it ever made into like film or anything like that?
Yeah, it's been made to a film. I haven't seen anything recent. It's a black and white one.
Okay.
Let me just say hi. We got Michael San Martino popping in.
Hi.
Hello.
What's up, buddy?
So yeah, I mean, listen, the influence, and I won't just say Zorro in general, the influence that the pulps had on the comic community, people really just don't understand it. You know, I mean, I wish they did. I would love to, come and lecture on it, and talk about like,
absolutely.
Okay, so Zorro, he wasn't the first with a secret identity, but, the idea of, the rich man, even though the Scarlet Pimpernel did it first, he was the one who popularized it in that time. He had a cave, he had a black stallion. And then Batman comes out with he's got the Batmobile, he's got a Batcave. Batman is a ripoff, complete ripoff of Zorro. But he also has some Doc Savage in him.
Yeah.
As Batman. Being the scientist and all this stuff. But if you look at Doc Savage and John Carter, like John Carter of Mars, if you saw the movie,
I've seen the movie.
But that's Superman. Like John Carter was a guy from Earth who went to Mars and had superpowers. Superman's the reverse of that.
Superman in reverse, yep.
And when you look at Doc Savage was a man of bronze. His name was Clark. You know, I mean,
I know that. Wow. Okay.
yeah. So it's just there is so he had a Fortress of Solitude.
Damn.
Yeah. So all this stuff, and this is one of the reasons I love the Pulps,
Wow.
is because this is the history of everything that came later.
Right.
You know.
What do you know as far as the public domain?
I know some stuff about public domain.
Are any of those characters in public domain now? I mean, like even with the Zorro, I did some reading, and it's actually kind of confusing. You know what I
Here's
mean?
the thing: Zorro
Because
is
it's
in
not
is
into
in
public
public
domain.
domain technically.
Right.
This is what I'm going to say: the Curse of Capistrano is in public domain. That interpretation of Zorro is in
Got it.
public domain. Other interpretations I can't say,
Right.
but the name Zorro, the trademark name of Zorro, is still owned by Zorro Production Inc.
Yeah. That's
So
what
you can't literally like you could do a Fox character who wears dressed all in black, the mask, the sword, the mustache,
okay.
whatever. You could do a character like that, and you can call him the Fox, and on the cover, but
Got
you can't call him Zorro on the cover.
Got it. Okay.
And inside, you probably shouldn't call him Zorro just because of the licensing right now. But technically, Zorro is in public domain. But only to my knowledge, the Curse of Capistrano.
Yeah, I didn't really piece it together. I was doing a little research. I'm like, okay, I'm not too familiar with what they're saying here.
Yeah.
But and obviously it is through Zorro Productions that we worked through.
We had to have our work approved by them because the company Bold Venture Press, who's publishing it, gets a licensing right to it, and they're allowed to publish books, but it has to be approved.
Yeah, there was
by Zorro, so it meets the standards, and they're not just doing whatever.
Yeah, they had all their checkpoints, everything. The NDA, all of that stuff was in place. I was like, okay,
you got to be careful with that stuff. It's just the way it is, with licensed characters.
Yeah.
And listen, I mean, I was honored to work on it again. I think it's really fantastic what I've seen. I've seen very little art come out. Only what Bold Venture has been advertising.
Yeah, me too.
I think the work that you've put out there, because I because we're friends, you showed me stuff you were working on, and I'm like, damn, my stuff's not going to hold up, And I see the artwork that's being put out, and I'm just like, and I don't. I mean, okay, I'm very self-deprecating. I don't like my stuff, but I look at what I did, and I'm like, I wish I had a chance to do it over. I just, I didn't rush the work, but I feel it looks like I rushed it. You know what I mean? Like it just wasn't.
I tend to go in that department myself too. Sometimes I'll go back and look at stuff. I'm like, damn, I wish I had done this. It could just be, the natural. You're your own worst critic. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's what it is, basically. I know for me, that's definitely the case.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm. Yeah, I hate everything I do. Let me tell you guys, the Wiz strip I posted today.
I hate everything.
Hate it. Listen, I love doing the Wiz, but I just, it's so weird, and I don't know if you are the same way as an artist. Like I know you just said, you don't like your stuff, you go back. But I can't really go back and look at my work. I actually once told a friend of mine who I did work for, and he was still using my work years later, to stop tagging me in that. And he's like, but they're so good. And I'm like, I don't want to see them. And it was nothing against the guy for using it. You want to use it. You own my work.
Right.
Do it. I don't care.
That's definitely happened to me, where it's like stuff that I've worked on like maybe like a decade ago that's still kind of circulating. And I'm like, oh man, they're still trying to, I'm still attached to this thing, and I'm so much better now. But this is the representation of me. You know what I mean? So
it's and I think as an artist, we grow every time we draw. We do more. Like right now, I'm actually doing a lot of manga style stuff. I haven't really posted much. Nothing actually of my own characters yet. I recently posted a Spider-Man that's doing well on social media. But let me go to the comments real quick. I just want to give a shameless plug. He's doing his next book Saturday, 6/22 at New England Comics in Quincy, Massachusetts. So stop by. That's his next book signing. You can get Sillyville. And he also says, I just went on to IMDb and stopped counting, but there's over 40 titles with the word Zorro, you know? And I can see that. I mean, you know, I know some of them off the top of my head, but I haven't watched every Zorro thing that's been out.
So is he making a reference to the whole the what do you call it, the public domain thing we were just talking about?
No. That was movies. Like on IMDb, he looked up the word Zorro, and there was over
Okay,
40.
film.
So,
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I know the more popular ones. I mean, there's a few I haven't seen. I know that.
One of the stories I worked on is actually, and I had no idea, it's based off of an interpretation of a Spanish novela of Zorro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like the reference, it was pretty cool. The reference I got was directly from that, and I had no idea. It's called the rose, the thorn and the rose, or something like that.
Well,
Like,
this
wow.
it is a romance and swordplay and romance is
Yeah.
is the
That was
title.
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I wish, you know, like I'll have to wait till the book comes out to show some of my artwork, but I do wish I got to do different imagery in my head now. Now that I go back and I look at it, I'm like, oh, I should have done this drawing. This would have been more dynamic. This would have been cooler. So, well, you know,
Right?
whatever. If there's a
Okay,
third book for me, I'll make sure to bust my ass on it. But let's show while we're talking here. Let's show the Zorro book. Let's go here. Swordplay and Romance. So this right here is the cover of it. I forgot who's the. Do they say the cover artist?
Oh, I follow him on Facebook. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I do too. I don't remember.
It's got to be up there somewhere.
They'll probably be down here. Ooh, I got top billing. No, I'm kidding.
They said alphabetical order, then it would have been.
Yeah. No, I know. You would have gone first, man. Well, yeah.
Cover.
Actually,
There it is. Look, Pierogi at the bottom there, covered by
Perego.
One name, like Madonna.
Yeah. Now listen, the work is fantastic, and this is a beautiful cover. Can I click on it to make it larger? No, I can't. But let's take a look at some samples. Maybe one of yours was used. I look at and this right here. This is one of the reasons I'm upset at my work.
Wow.
It's like I see this and I'm like, this is totally Guy Williams.
Yeah, that looks like a scene from exactly, the Guy Williams. Yep.
That's the cover. This is nice.
Yeah, that's
I wish
cool.
they would tell us who did this.
Yeah, we're gonna say who's the artist.
It says Rob Davis.
Okay. I'll have to look him up.
Oh, there's yours.
Oh yeah, that's actually my favorite one out of the ones I did. That was the very first one I did, man, and like I was enjoying the moment so much, I relished in it.
Yeah, this looks fantastic. I love the wrinkles.
I used some reference for that, and I just went all in on the details, man. I had a blast doing it.
Yeah, I love that. This is a nice one too. Who did Jeff Austin?
Yeah, that's
very nice.
Yeah.
I like Jeff's work a lot.
Yeah, that's good.
And
oh yeah, look at the detail there. Wow.
Illustrated by Bold Venture Press. So I don't know who did that. It's probably Rich Harvey, who's the publisher, maybe.
I love the way the ceiling looks. It looks like that. It looks like real, like aged wood. It has that really textured look to it.
It's got almost like a wood carving look to it.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. No, you know what? It's funny when I did the first. I don't want to say it was the first book. The first book I worked on, I really played. I tried to play with some tones. Let me see if I can find the piece to show that. I don't want to spoil anything.
Mike, is that on the website? Right, that's the Bold Venture Press website.
Yeah, that's the Bold Venture Press website,
where the people can order the book if they'd like. It's been out since June 5th, is it?
I think that sounds about
right. It's out now, people. Yeah, you can order it if anybody's on there and wishes to purchase it.
Yeah,
on boldventurepress.com.
Where the hell is my stuff?
I'll
sorry.
be sharing the link, and as soon as I get my copies, we're getting what do you call those
Contributor, yeah.
comp
I
copies.
will be sharing a lot of stuff very soon.
I'll
too.
definitely be talking more about it and relishing the moment.
Yeah. One second. I don't know why. Okay, so let me find a better picture. I know the one I want to show. So right here, let me give myself the screen for a second so you can see it larger. So this piece right here, in one of the stories I did, Zorro is fighting a vampire in the first one here. Okay, so I tried to play with, different tones in the outfits, and with the backgrounds. Um,
You told me, I think, but I wanted to know, you work in grayscale, right? You directly go into grayscale?
Yeah, I did it all in grayscale because I'm colorblind. But
Oh,
when I look at the work that people are doing now,
Hmm.
I'm like, everybody did such beautiful solid black stuff, or they did beautiful like digital paintings, and I'm like, and to me, that's why I'm a little upset with my work, you know.
I didn't realize. Yeah, you were colorblind. I don't know if you
Yeah,
ever. I actually worked mine in color and converted it to grayscale.
yeah.
I feel I work better that way. I catch the differences in the shades and the tones that way. But there's a lot of guys who do it the other way and go straight for the grayscale.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you right now, one of the reasons, being colorblind is one of the reasons I decided to start working on a little bit of manga.
Hmm.
Was because the way I look at it is, you know, comics can be expensive, especially when you're a self-publisher.
Right.
So publishing in gray is going to be cheaper than
Obviously.
publishing in color. And
Yeah.
although everybody wants to see color, anybody who reads manga reads it in grayscale.
Right.
You know, what do I got next to me right here? What's this?
And I'll add. Truth be told, sometimes the grayscale and the black and white. Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, it's gorgeous stuff. And
What I was saying, the grayscale and the black and white stuff sometimes work better for certain genres. Like in my opinion, I think certain horror and a lot of the noir stuff, it works really well either in stark black and whites or even in grayscale. So
yeah,
there's something for everybody, I think.
yeah. So hold on, we're gonna move over to the Facebook page. Why didn't it move over to the Facebook page? Let me stop the share. And actually, while I'm here, let me see something. I think I just got a spam email on Facebook. Been getting a lot of those lately.
So we're viewed on YouTube and Facebook, correct?
And Twitch, but I never saved the Twitch
Okay.
for it to continue. But what I wanted to do was take a look at the Bold Venture Facebook page here. So as we scroll through it, we can look at the type of artwork
Excellent.
and stuff that they offer, like this Rex Brandon Jungle Hunter. Like, I have so many ideas for pulp-like stories. The problem is I'm not a good prose writer, so I don't write for the genre, but I can draw for it.
Is this what this is? It's a prose book?
Well, most of the books are prose. They don't really do comics, Bold Venture. So, but you look at this one that was 5 days ago. So Teal James Glenn, who is a terrific writer and will be coming on the show in the future, has written tons of stuff, not just for Bold Venture, but a bunch of other stuff. And I actually have some of his books. He did write a story in here. Does it say who drew his story? No, it doesn't. But his website is The Urban Swashbuckler. And Teal's a really nice guy. I got to meet him a few years ago.
This guy here actually is one of the writers that I work with. I forget his name. He goes by Johnny Latinos on Facebook. But he used, like I said, telling you before, he used the Spanish novela, as his point of reference to take the story from that. It was almost like continuation of that.
Yeah,
And
and this is your piece
yeah,
here.
that's one of my illustrations there. That's in this story. There's actually I don't want to, spoiler alert. There's an actual female who goes under disguise and does her vigilante thing too as
Interesting.
well. That's the main character there. That's her.
It's really good. I mean, they got a lot of stuff. Now, this guy right here, I love Francisco. Um, Francisco Silva was the one who did the cover to this book.
Oh wow.
That's his work. He's been on the show. Actually, um, this Saturday, I'm going to finally mail him out. I've been meaning to mail out for a while, but he ordered his copy of the Wiz book.
Oh,
The Whimsical Wiz. This is the collection of the
oh, man.
2023.
How thick is it, Mike? Like, hold it up. Let's see.
No, it's only like 50 something pages.
Oh,
It holds
like a compilation of all your stuff in there.
It's all of last year's strips with some bonus pages.
Damn. Wow. We got to talk more about that off,
Off camera, absolutely.
I have a ton of questions.
But yeah, no, I'm thrilled that he's in this book. Do they say in here? I just want to make sure. Yep. So here's the thing. I just want to say this because this is how cool it is. And he wasn't allowed to say this on air last time. So to say Francisco Silva is a fan of Zorro is an understatement. He undertook to translate and under license from Zorro Productions Inc. through Bold Venture Press has broken cultural barriers by reprinting Johnson Macaulay's The Mark of Zorro in Portuguese. So, and now he's kind of doing a bunch of his own stuff now. Now, this guy right here, for those who don't know, John, is it Hertzler? This is him as the alcalde in the 90s Zorro. He was one of the best villains you'll ever see. Came in after Michael Atilo's character passed away on the show. This is Linda Binder, who's a writer on here. So I don't know if there's art, because that's Duncan and Patrice there. And that was, they didn't call him Bernardo in there. He was Felipe, I think. So, but I love this. This is inside the Zorro cave, and this is kind of the Da Vinci wings,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
like a hang glider.
Yeah, the thing that they used for the original Batman design.
Yeah. This is nice here.
So wait, that's a movie, right? You said the one with
no, this was the TV. That was the '90s TV series I was telling you about. I don't know if I know a bit of it was on Tubi at one point. I don't know if it still is, but I still sometimes sing that theme song. I sing both.
It's pretty catchy. I gotta admit.
Well, there is. I don't think I did it. I think I did it. Did I do it in 2023 or was it a 2024 joke for the Wiz? But there's a Zorro Wiz now. Yeah, it's this year. It's called Wizzo.
Wizzo.
He's only appeared in one strip, I think, and it was just.
He's got to be dressed like him too, right? Obviously.
I'll show him. I'll show him after we look at this here. So there's your guy again.
Yep.
And this is the novella, I'm assuming.
Yes, that's an image from the novella. Yep.
Yeah. Who is this here? Heather Anderson. Really talented writer. This is more of your stuff, and this was the other one that.
No, that's not me.
No, this ain't your stuff. This is who's this? Gotta hit more. Oh, Daryl McCullough, the writer producer. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. This guy's been promoting the heck out of the book. So this is Nestor Taylor was the illustration. Nice here. I'm just looking here. This is Jeff Austin's work. I'm not saying who the artist is yet. This guy, I really like this piece, but I want to see more. I want to get the book. See more. Did I just see my name somewhere? Or is that just because I like something?
How many stories are in there?
How many stories did
Yeah.
you ask?
Yeah.
I have to look at the
I didn't
cover.
realize, I didn't realize. Well, I have to go look at the website. I haven't.
Yeah,
realized.
it's on. It's if I can switch over to the cover real quick. Does it say 15 new stories?
Wow. This thing must be like thick.
So let's keep going here. This right here. This is Susan Kite. She wrote my story that I illustrated.
Okay.
But she's. I gotta read more on her, but she was like part of the Zorro, the Guy Williams fan club or something. But she is one of the definitive Zorro writers. You can't, from my understanding, is like you want a Zorro story, like she's the go-to person.
Really?
I was thrilled to be able to.
Did she work on like movies and
I don't think so. I just think she's just a fan and knows Zorro very well. And here's more of Hertzler as the Alcalde. You know, he was a Klingon on Star Trek. I believe it was Next Gen. This guy right here, this is John French. He wrote the vampire story I was telling you about in the other one that I illustrated. This guy is a fantastic writer. I remember when I first spoke to him, and I called him. I said, listen, can you give me a call? I'd like to talk about the project. And I said, I want to know the parts that you think would best be illustrated to suit the story.
Okay.
And I said, I'm going to pick like my top 5. You pick your top 5 and let's talk. We had the exact same spot.
Awesome.
So it was so good.
Yeah.
So
that's good when the two brains connect like that, right? Isn't that?
Yeah.
It's music. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm like just sitting here looking at all this, and that's the '90s Zorro now. But yeah, this is Bobby Nash. Bobby Nash will be coming on the show as well, and he's an amazing writer. Amazing writer. This is who do we got here? Rob Davis, who did that other piece that I really enjoyed on the website. So, but I mean, look at the camera angle here. I mean, I just love that piece where he's jumping over and stuff.
The worm's eye view.
Yeah, man, it's so gorgeous here. Now we come to my stuff, and they picked one of the ones I didn't like, and I'll tell you why I didn't like it. I hate drawing horses. I hate horses, but I've gotten better. Here's the funny thing. Since I started drawing more manga, and I draw things like Conan for fun, and I draw like all like those, public domain, what's the word I'm looking for? Pulp heroes. I've been studying horses in like the manga style, and I've been seeing just how much easier something looked to me, and I'm better at it. Like if I drew this now, totally different composition, totally different horse, everything.
Is he following somebody? Right, that looks like a wagon.
It's a wagon. I don't want to tell the story.
We don't want to.
But
just trying to make out the image.
But it's a nice piece. I can show you off the air, larger. But yeah, no, this is just all fantastic. I mean, listen, you guys, if just for those watching, if you guys are really into, well, not just Zorro, but like swashbuckling type of stories, love stories, that's what this book is. It's about love, and it's about, I guess I don't want to say fighting for love. I haven't read every story. I've only read the one I illustrated. And here you are. Oh, they put 2 pieces up. Look at that piece there.
Yeah.
Like, see, I can't.
That was from the second story that I worked on for based off the novella, and the writer provided like all the reference I needed, and yeah, it was a real smooth operation working with him.
That's really cool. And then we saw this on the website.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, I love it. I love the detail in the pants. I love everything you got here. And I think you might have been the first one. Oh no, right here. So who is this? Story by Daryl McCullough and art by Nestor. Oh, we talked about that. That was just another one that they did. So yeah, this is the new Zorro book by Bold Venture Press, like we said, and I'm going to put the website link where you can order it from in the comments. And depending what you want, you can go from anything from soft cover to hardcover with a dust jacket. It's $29.95 for the soft cover and goes up to $75 for it with the dust jacket.
Hmm.
You know.
Jay, what's up, buddy?
Oh, Jason.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hey, Jason.
One of my Air Force buddies.
Cool. I was gonna say I don't think I know him.
Yeah.
But
well, I'll see you in Texas, Jay. I'm heading out to Texas. I guess it's next week, San Antonio. Me and the guys, and yeah, we'll be at the Superhero Comic Con in San Antonio. I guess it's like June 20th through like the 25th or something like that.
That's nice.
Yeah, see you out there, Jay.
Nice. I'll be. My next show is Undiscovered Realm Con at the end of the month in White Plains, New York, at the Westchester County Center. It's the 29th and 30th.
Our good buddy George Medina had a book signing today at the former Spider's Web. What do they call it now? Something?
Oh no, it's not the former Spider's Web.
That? No, okay.
No. It's Collector Cave.
I thought okay.
Collector Cave is in Ridge Hill. Over in Yonkers.
Okay.
The Spider's Web was in Yonkers as well, but that one closed down.
Oh, I thought they replaced it. Oh, okay. But
no,
yeah, that went down tonight. I'm assuming it was a huge success because I tried texting him and he didn't get back to me right away. So I'm guessing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he must have had a blast. I'm sure he'll post pictures and let us know later on.
Yeah. I was hoping, to go. Like my day job that I work, which I love doing, but I work from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. So that kills me going to like.
Are you close to that area? To where
I'm
the book signing was?
Literally 15, 20 minutes from where he was going to be, depending on traffic. Actually, to be honest, I live 5 minutes from George. Like he lives a couple of streets away, and it's so funny. We've known each other for years, and when we learned that we lived 5 minutes away from each other, we have never met up. Like there was one time he stopped
to
by.
Get it done. Yeah.
I know it was one time he stopped by, and I went outside to pick something up for him. But I've never had him over. I've never been over his place. It's just the strangest thing. We're literally 5 minutes away. One day it'll happen. One day.
He's moved from the old place. I don't know if you're familiar with that now. I mean, I think he's still in Yonkers, I believe, but he's not.
And maybe he moved. I'll have to ask him where he is.
Yeah.
Where he used to be was 5 minutes from my house. So I don't know. We'll find. One day we'll hang out.
Yeah, make it happen.
Got get you over. I'll do a bunch of cooking. Make some nice nice Italian food or something. And but yeah, man, yeah, it's. Listen, I'll tell you, the Zorro stuff's always an amazing ride. I love drawing it. I become so obsessed. All I do is sit and watch Zorro stuff in the background.
What do you think about the character that amazes you so much? What do you think it is? Like, why are you such a fan? Like, what do you like about it?
It's weird. When I was a kid, well, first of all, my father introduced me to the character.
Okay.
My dad was a fan as a kid. He grew up on the Guy Williams stuff.
Right.
And I just always, I don't know, I think I liked kind of like that I think I was introduced to him before I was introduced to Batman, to be honest with you. And I think I liked that he didn't have powers, but I always liked the swashbuckling stories. I liked pirates as a kid. I liked the idea of sword fighting. I always found it to be kind of like graceful.
I was just gonna say, like, majestic was the word.
Yeah, it's
very graceful. That's the perfect word.
And like, so I always enjoyed watching that, but and like I said, the Guy Williams stuff I always found very witty and would make me laugh. So I had the humor because that was the first one I was really introduced to.
Yeah.
And then There was the Filmation Zorro TV series that I watched.
That's the one I kind of vaguely remember that I was addressing earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, and they and they didn't have Bernardo. They had another guy who spoke English and stuff too. And but there was also a show where Henry Darrow, who in the '90s or took over in the second season as Alejandro. There was a Zorro and Son, and he was the son in Zorro, but he was also the voice of the Filmation Zorro.
Wow.
So like, I don't know. I just love this character all the time. I love it. I love a period piece. You know, there's also something when you know, and I'm not going to say Spanish California was like this, but the way they present it, there's this elegance to it. There's this almost there's this romantic sense to it that and I'm sure in reality it wasn't really like that, but it was it just was it seemed to be a very nice period in American history where, because I always, I'm a big fan of like Little House on the Prairie. I love characters like Davy Crockett and Daniel Boone. I always loved like the frontier heroes, and I just like that they don't have a lot of technology. They're making do with what they have around them.
Jason says, I like the name Diego de la Vega. Yeah, that is a cool name, actually.
It is a great name.
Don Diego de la Vega. Yeah, that is a really good name.
Yeah, it's so it's just so for me that is one of the reasons I loved him. And it could be just because my dad also loved him, and it was just something I got to do with my dad. There might be a little connection there. But yeah, I mean the character itself, everything I just said is one of the things I like about him, and honestly, I think he's better than Batman.
In a lot of ways,
yeah,
I would agree with that. Yeah,
I'm gonna say that I think these characters that came before all these heroes that we know now, I think I think are a lot better. Yeah. Comics we call them modern mythology, and we had some great characters come out of there: Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, whatever. You name them, you got some really nice characters.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's something to me more fun about reading The Shadow than reading someone like Batman or even Superman. You know what I mean? Or Spider-Man. I like the mysticism. Like, also that might be another thing when we look at the different eras and we see it in comics. But the golden age of comics, heroes got their powers from mysticism for the most part. If we look at the Alan Scott Green Lantern, it was what happened. He was holding a lantern that was made out of the, alien. I don't know if it was originally an alien like meteorite or whatever, and there was a warning for first comes death, then comes birth, then comes power. So everyone dies except for him because he's holding the lantern, so it brings him back to life. And then it says, carve a ring out of me, and he gets the power, and it's wish fulfillment. It's the story of Aladdin, almost like he has the genie. Because if you guys ever read, and I say you guys, I guess I mean the audience too, watch, but if you ever read the original Aladdin story, there's a magic lamp, but that's not the big part. He has a genie in a ring. So when you look at that, it's taking all this classic period piece stuff that I love and creating those characters. Then when we get to the Silver Age of superheroes, we're in the atomic age of the United, the world, the United States, whatever. So we're looking at science that are now giving powers. Nice. When we go back and look at the pulp, either they had no powers, or their powers were more mystical, or at least made people believe they had mystical powers. Mm-hmm. And then there were like, the sci-fi characters too. But like you look at Flash Gordon or Buck Rogers, they weren't anything, like special in the sense of power. But, they both end up on Buck Rogers ends up on Earth, but, Flash ends up on an alien world, and he's got to basically survive on an alien world.
Yeah.
And
I think for me, like even what I asked you before, like what I found so appealing about Zorro, there's so
yeah,
much, not to like about him. I mean, for one thing, he's Latino, right? He's got like this whole like suave, this whole
yeah,
romantic, with the ladies and all, he's all dressed in this slick black costume. He's got the little mustache and everything, slicked hair. He's freaking cool to look at. One thing, you know what I mean? He's
yeah,
just a
yeah,
cool looking character, man. And again, it represents a lot for the culture that his place in comics history to me is, I don't want to say underrated, but it's not celebrated to the level I think it should be. I mean, his
mm,
place in comics history, and especially for my culture, Latino culture, you know what I mean, is huge.
yeah.
That is part of the reason, and I want to thank you publicly here
Uh,
for thank you for bringing me into the project. The first thing I told my wife, I was like, I'm so honored to be working on something and my very first licensed product, and have it be something so connected to me and
yeah,
the Spanish people and the Latinos and all, and that was a huge thing for me, and it's understated is what I'm is
yeah.
the proper way to say it. His influence is so huge. I cannot say that enough. And again, the love of the character has only grown for me. It was, like I said, it was a casual thing going in, and I came out of it like, I want to draw more Zorro. I
Yeah,
want to know more about him. I want to see all these movies you're talking about. I want to get into the serials and all of that. And that's major. That's like a breakthrough, and it's part of developing as an artist, as a creator, and even as a person. Like realizing there's this make believe character that you can actually connect to, and then you can learn more about it
exactly.
from history as an actual person. So it kind of comes full circle. You know what I mean? And that's huge, man. And once again, thank you again for bringing me on, man. I
Listen,
really appreciate it.
you're very welcome. When Audrey, who is the editor, asked if I knew anybody who would be interested, you were one of the first people. I gave her two names, and
Right.
unfortunately, one couldn't do it this time around. So hopefully, if there's another book next time, because his work is fantastic. But you were the other person who came to mind, and I mean,
I'm glad I made the cut.
yeah, I thought you'd be great at it. It's you know, I mean, listen, I don't know how much more I can talk about this, but you're right. I mean, who was it? Antonio Banderas, I believe, was the first one of a Spanish descent to play
Right.
Zorro.
Yeah, that's part of the
And
thing I learned reading about it.
yeah,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
the new Zorro. There's going to be a new Zorro supposedly. I don't know if anything's been canceled. What's going on? But I always screw up his name. But the guy who played Fez on That '70s Show,
Oh yeah, he's playing him.
he's in the
Wilmer
process.
Valderrama.
Yeah,
He's playing Zorro.
he is not.
Yeah,
He's not just playing it, but he's supposed to be the major force behind it. Like he
really.
got it. He's getting it made,
Okay, well,
and I believe he
that's incredible.
is. He's going to try to make it as accurate, I guess,
That's
as
awesome.
he can, because
Is it going to be a movie? Do you know, or what kind
it's.
of
I believe it's supposed to be a series on Disney Plus.
series? Wow.
And that was the last I heard about it. I don't know. I'm still trying to
Look that up.
finish up the Amazon one, which was a little weird to me. But there's a new series on Amazon. It's like 10 episodes or 7 episodes, whatever it is, and I haven't finished it
I
yet.
don't watch Amazon much. I do have an Amazon Prime account. I believe
Um,
on there, man.
but yeah, there is a new one, and it's a different take. What I'll say is this: Zorro in that one is really a spirit, if you will. And I don't want to spoil anything,
Okay.
but it's like when one
That's
Zorro
a
dies.
concept. If it's going the way that I'm thinking, well,
Well,
what were you saying?
basically, when one Zorro dies, the spirit chooses
Oh,
another Zorro,
okay, okay.
and it's
So it's
and
very supernatural, kind of like in
I don't
realm
want
of
to say
this,
that. I would go with uh, uh,
because it's more
one
than
name.
just a mantle. It's not just a
Yeah,
mantle. It's a
yeah.
spirit now. You know what I mean? So
Well, I don't
it's
want to say the word. It's so hard to explain. I'm using the word spirit.
okay.
It could be taken as mantle, but it comes
Hmm.
as like a Native American type of story,
Oh,
almost like,
okay.
and it's been a while since I've seen it, so I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
almost like the spirit of the fox
God,
chooses,
I
you know
got
what
it.
I mean? So
Yeah.
like it looks for
Yeah.
someone who is
So
like,
there's some mythology behind it.
yeah, so
Yeah.
so a little bit, it's a little different.
Okay.
I've only watched the first 3 episodes
That's on what would you say?
on Amazon Prime,
Okay, and it's a live action.
live action. Yeah,
Huh. Okay, because I know there's like a cartoon series I saw one time. Like
there
it seemed kind of new. There's a few of them that I saw. I don't
there's a
know if it was on
few.
Netflix or Disney.
There was
It's an animated version. It's kind of new.
it's on Disney.
I'm not sure. I was on the
Well,
thumbnail,
there
so I don't know.
there is an anime version which I've never watched, but
Yeah,
I've seen
yeah, there's a
clips
straight
of.
up cartoon.
There was a Zorro cartoon back in the late '90s, mid to late '90s, which I never really caught because of just time of day and stuff. But um, I actually thought it was pretty good for what it was, you know. But yeah, there's been a few. Then there was Zorro. I don't know what year number one, but it was like Future Zorro, and he rode like a black motorcycle, and he
Oh,
had like a laser sword, and it
oh,
became a
really?
whip, and
Wow.
yeah, it was
It
okay.
sounds cool, but I think it's deviating too far from what I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's for
It's
some
too
people.
much. And I was just at the Palisades Mall. I was in Newberry Comics, and
I love
they
that.
had
Yeah,
they had some Zorro books there, and I was looking, and the new Zorro. I didn't read it, but he was on a motorcycle again, and I'm like, I don't think this is for me. I want him, 1800s. I want
right,
him,
right, right.
you know,
Yeah,
riding tornado or tornado, however you want to pronounce it, and you know, him just being who he is.
yeah. I don't think I've been around them long enough to decide like what I prefer yet, but I do believe that the purest version, which is the original, would probably be more what I would lean towards.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd give this a chance just because I like motorcycles. That's
yeah,
pretty
yeah. I mean, listen, I like him too, but I'm just, yeah, I just don't think it's the character. I don't want an updated version
understood.
of that character. You know,
Right.
they've done comics where he met the Lone Ranger, and I'm like, I'm cool with that because
Okay. Yeah.
it's,
That's kind of interesting.
and that's another character I love and would love to draw, professionally one day. Um, and it's, again, I suck at horses, though. I mean, I'm getting better, but horses are what's keeping me from doing westerns. If it was up to me, I probably wouldn't do superheroes anymore if I could draw horses and do westerns. I really love. I've always loved westerns. Um, I love, like I said, period pieces that are stories about the frontier, that are,
Okay.
early American history type of stuff. I've always loved that
Yeah.
type of stuff.
Jason is confirming. Yeah, the series is on Amazon Prime or Paramount. Oh,
Oh, it's on Paramount too. I mean, I got both, so
he's
it don't
saying yeah,
matter.
it's either on one or the other. Okay, I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, check it. It's decent. It's just I've heard a lot of mixed reviews,
Mhm. But
and I'm not. I haven't, because I haven't watched it fully yet. I haven't made my decision.
gotcha.
You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, man. Is there anything else you would like to share with the audience? I think we're going to wrap up in a moment.
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, I talked about it briefly. I guess it was like last week when I was on the ASAP Imaginations podcast with Lori.
Yeah, I got to watch that. I haven't had a
Yeah,
chance.
I had a blast with her. Yeah, she's so cool.
She's really good. She's been on the show here.
Yeah, she's really cool. I'm working on my own project. I'm working on what I'm calling. I'm trying to come up with a word, and I'll play around with it for an omnibus anthology. A combination is kind of what it is. It's kind of like I've spoken to you about it. It's a collection of, I'm not gonna say everything I've ever published, but whatever I feel is good enough will go into it. Plus some new stories I'm adding into it, and it's kind of I keep saying this. I don't know who the audience is for this, but it's something that I feel I need to put out. It's going to have poetry. It's going to have single images. It's going to have a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And each story, I will try to provide like an explanation as to how I came up with it, like the inspiration behind it. So it's kind of like a little bit different take on the comic book itself, and the
Yeah, yeah.
compilation. And I also want it to be larger than normal comic book size. So I'll work on, deciding all that later on. But that's my current project now. I have a potential client for another children's book, and if that comes to be, I'll spill the beans on that as it develops. As for now, I'm waiting on the script to see if it's up my alley and whatnot. But other than that, yeah, I'm keeping myself open, keeping myself busy as always, and I'm always grateful to people like yourself for keeping me inspired, keeping me in the game, and keeping me in the loop, basically. Appreciate you much, Mike.
Thank you very much. I always, always enjoy talking to you. Always enjoy looking at your artwork.
Likewise.
We talked a while back about trying to keep each other on track and stuff,
Yeah.
and we fell off of that. So
You know what happened for me? Once I was done with the Zorro stuff, I had moved on into my own stuff, and it became kind of like a close off for me because I'm still
I know that's
developing.
what happens.
So I lost that with you, but definitely,
We need to get that.
I'm always there, buddy. Yeah, I'm always there.
Even personal stuff, man. We got to do it for you.
Absolutely.
Stay on track, because I know I've fallen behind just because of scheduling
Yeah.
of things, but I'd love to get back on track. My goal is, if I can, by Friday. It's probably not going to be until next week, but I want to finish the script to one of the mangas I'm doing.
Gotcha. Have I sent you any of the stuff I'm working on at all? I might have. I mean, again, I've been so consumed.
I
haven't shared too much with anybody in terms of.
Yeah, I don't think you sent me anything really. I know I've sent you a couple of
Once
manga.
I remember I did when I first started, but we had talked about what the idea was going to be. And I might have sent you preliminary sketches and images way back, and then the Zorro thing came around, and then that kind of just got pushed to the side. But yeah, we talked about it before, definitely.
Yeah. Oh no, I'll love to look again. We'll talk off the air about that.
Sure.
So yeah, you can always send me stuff. I got stuff probably next week. I'll send you the script.
Yeah.
Get your
I'd love
thoughts
to look
on
at
it.
it.
But yeah, so anyway, let's wrap up. If you don't mind hanging out backstage for a few minutes.
I'll be here.
I want to thank you guys again. Thank you for coming on. Thank all you guys who tuned in live. Thank you all who are watching later. And the link for the to purchase the books, yes, the Zorro, is in the comments. So with that, my only announcement, which is what I forgot to make at the beginning, is about my Monday night live draws. I haven't done them recently. I did one thinking I was going to start again. I've just had a really crappy schedule, you guys. I apologize for that. I know I've been working on an animation usually. I think I have to put that on hold due to just scheduling. I don't have time to focus on it. I'd like to get the animation back up, but also I am removing the Adobe software from my computers and moving on. So right now I've been animating in Adobe software, so that's going to have to be put on hold, and I will, when I get a new animation software, I'll start the project back up. But yeah, so that's it for me. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, you can go on Amazon and type in The Whimsical Wiz or just my name, Michael Gracia, and you can get your copy, or find me at Undiscovered RealmCon, White Plains, at the Westchester County Center in the last Saturday and Sunday in June. I'll also be running the kids section. I'll have some other cool stuff going on there. I'll be doing free what I call cartoonatures, which are like nothing like caricatures, because I can't caricature too well, but I make you a cartoon. I turn you into what you'd look like as a cartoon, and I'll be teaching people how to draw chibi characters, and we'll be doing a lot of fun stuff. So we have also some great people coming along. You're gonna just love it. So with that, guys, thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you next week with another great show. All right, see you later. Bye, guys.